Hi, it's Andres Aya with Aya Percussion. On our first lesson, we learned how to set up our pad and our stand, and we went over grip. This video is a little more up to date because I've changed some of my pedagogy as I go down the Bill Bachman rabbit hole and realize how important it is to set up some key alignment things in our setup for American grip. So avoid setting up your pad first and then going to it, because we're humans and we're good at adapting, and you'll end up playing up here or down here based on the pad. I want you to set up first. So the first thing I want you to think about is the alignment of your arm and stick. In the past, or typically what's done is people do 90 degrees, and that creates kind of like a parallel arm and then 90 degrees in your hands. Although that's the typical way to teach it, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something a little more modern. Okay? So what I want you to do is think about your arm and your stick being at the same angle. The way I kind of think about it, if you went to Home Depot, you wouldn't get a hammer that had a little angle change in it. You want everything to be in line so you have efficiency of motion. So that stick and that arm we want to be in line. So a quick way to do that is hold at the bead of the stick and align your stick with your arm, okay? And really what should happen is when you take your stick out, it should be aligned right there in the same angle. We don't have a different angle from arm to stick. Otherwise, we're gonna lose leverage. So the typical shape that I kind of tell my kids is it creates what I call the power triangle. So from the bead to your wrist to your elbow should all be lined up. Okay, so your bead to your elbows is this isosceles triangle. Your shoulders are kind of the bottom of the triangle. Okay, and obviously this is going to be in the set position on the pad. Okay, so some key things you're looking for here. When you look down at your hands, generally you won't be able to see the butt of the stick at all. If you see the butts of your stick, that's the angle has changed. So we got to get it out here. Okay, and conversely, if we did the reverse lightsaber, if we put it in like this, it should line up with our arm. If you push and it goes out here and you can see the space here, then we know we did something wrong, okay? In general, you shouldn't really be able to see your pinky knuckle, okay? And then again, I'm reviewing, German grip is flat wrist, French grip is thumb on top, okay? And we want American grip where the thumbnail is at a 45-degree angle, if you were to set your stick right there, or your wrist is not flat but at a 45-degree angle. Because again, German grip, we have great wrist turn. French grip, we have good finger access, but American grip, we get both. Okay. Plus, when you're doing American grip, that thumb is slightly on top. That thumb being on top is going to help with pressure when you're doing buzz rolls or diddles, and then also it can hinge when we're doing faster singles, and then also it helps with our controlled strokes to be another stopping point, so we're doing less physically. So I got my power triangle set up and my American grip set up. The next thing I want to make sure we're doing is the angle from the angle of our arm. We should be at a descending angle. So if this is flat, we don't want our arm flat, we want it slightly down. I call this the bunny slope. It's about 10 degrees. And then we want that angle to continue to our stick as well, because we want a descending angle into the pad. 10 degrees, we want to feel like we have leverage over the bead and we're pointing at the head. And that, again, that'll help us get leverage when we have controlled strokes or buzzes or really fast diddles. That gives us leverage, because if we get too flat, then the stick kind of escape us. We want to make sure that there's no angle change in this wrist when we're in set position. It should be one continuous angle. So that's like kind of top angle. And then we talked about the left to right angle of having the stick kind of align with the arm. Okay. And then I know I had my pad already set up at my height, but you don't have your pad set up yet. Like, make sure everything's looking good first, and then look from here and have your pad be about a ½ inch from your natural position. So avoid setting up your pad first and then going to it, because we're humans and we're good at adapting, and you'll end up playing up here or down here based on the pad. I want you to set up first and then see, like, look at the pad next to you. Is it about a good height? Yeah, that's pretty good. Or there's 3 inches of space. Okay, I got to bring the pad up. Or I'm having to raise my shoulders or change something, then it's too high. Make sure you set up the pad to you. Okay, for younger players, I think you're going to have a little bit more aggressive elbow, because you're usually a smaller frame. And so your elbows might feel like they're a little bit more out. Okay, and that's all right, because then we're getting things in line. okay? The typical things are that your wrists are too low and we need to kind of raise our wrists up a little bit so we're pointing down. And conversely, sometimes kids are way too wide and we got to bring the wrists in. Now be careful, when I say bring the wrists in, that doesn't mean bring your elbows in. I want to keep your elbows aggressive and out there. And again, we're going to get this all in line and get our power triangle, okay? So these are the things when you start playing. Most people start with a sticking page, and for my lesson kids, I assigned page 7 with the stickings. As you're going through these, of course, we start in the down position to check all those angles, but then what we're gonna do is we're gonna raise our wrist up without using our fingers and without using our arm first. We really wanna focus on the wrist. And we're not going terribly high, but it's a little bit over 45 degrees, okay? But when we do that, we don't wanna see the arm move, okay? Just turn your wrist up only and don't start grabbing the fingers. Keep it simple, okay? And as we play and we're doing the sequence of rights and lefts, we want to make sure we're keeping it very simple and just using wrist and not letting the arm go up and up and up, okay? So even when you're playing, pay attention to the hand that's not playing, and your arm should still be at a descending 10-degree bunny slope angle. So those are the things to watch out for. And then things might move around and shift, and then you stop after the 16th note and go back down. And when you go down, just move your wrist, not your arm, okay? And check everything. Oh, I got to get a little wider elbow, or I have to fix my American grip or something. And then go back up slowly and then try the next one. So it's not just about playing rights and lefts. It's about assessing your technique and how your angles are, and if things are changing, and making yourself aware of all those things that we set up at first, okay? So as you play, again, it's not about the what, it's about the how, and check yourself that the habits aren't creeping in, and that's okay if you need to fix it and slow down and double check yourself, then go back up. But again, I don't want to see any finger right now or any arm motion. We want to keep it very simple right now and just get the wrist motion, okay? Good luck.